Title: The Weight of the Depths. I can still hear the laughter as clearly as if it were yesterday. The day I returned home from the ocean, I thought I'd find solace, but instead, I was met with those same mocking voices echoing through my mind, a haunting reminder of their disbelief. "You're insane," they had yelled, their faces twisted in scorn. "You'll disgrace the family with your ridiculous obsession." Years ago, I had been a marine salvage diver, just a simple diver with an insatiable curiosity for the mysteries that lay beneath the waves. My passion was nautical necrology, the study of the dead, the drowned souls that whispered from the depths. I had discovered a shipwreck off the coast of a secluded island, a graveyard of bones entwined in kelp, their skeletal remains eerily preserved. I reported my findings to the Marine Institute, thinking they would share my excitement. They laughed, tossing aside my research like refuse. The ridicule stung, but it ignited a dark flame within me. I descended into the abyss of my obsession, diving deeper into the waters and my own madness. I mapped submerged graveyards, cataloged drowned curses, and recorded rituals long forgotten by the living. I became a pariah in the scientific community, but I didn't care. I was consumed by the voices below. Years passed, and as the world turned a blind eye, I uncovered truths that others dared not acknowledge. I became renowned for exposing phenomena that sent shivers down spines, haunted wrecks, vessels cursed by the dead, and the dark rituals that bound the living to the depths. I was invited to speak at conferences, my work published in journals, my name whispered in hushed tones of both admiration and fear. I had become a warning, a specter of the ocean's vengeance, both revered and reviled. And now, here I was, returning home, the weight of my experiences clinging to me like barnacles on a sunken ship. I stood at the doorstep of the family house, the familiar scent of pine and salt still lingering in the air. But it felt so distant, so alien. The door creaked open, revealing the faces of those who had once mocked me. "Look who's back," my brother sneered, arms crossed defiantly. My parents stood behind him, their expressions a mixture of disbelief and unease. I could see the flicker of recognition in their eyes, a hint of the fear I had brought with me. "Not so insane now, am I?" I replied, forcing a smile that felt more like a grimace. I stepped inside, the air thick with unspoken words. "I have something to show you," I said, my voice trembling with anticipation. They followed me hesitantly into the living room, where I had laid out my research. Charts of drowned territories, sketches of cursed artifacts, and pages filled with whispered secrets, the work of a lifetime. I watched as they flipped through the pages, their laughter fading into a heavy silence. I could see their disbelief crumbling, replaced by a dawning horror. Could this really be? My mother's voice trailed off, her eyes wide. "These are just stories, aren't they?" "Stories can be true," I replied. My brother shouted, stepping back, his bravado disintegrating. "This is madness!" But before I could respond, the bottle slipped from my fingers, shattering against the floor. The mist surged forth, swirling like a storm, and in an instant, the air grew cold. The shadows in the room deepened, twisting and writhing as if alive. "Stop!" my father cried, but it was too late. The whispers began, the soft, mournful wails of those who had drowned. The voices echoing the very horrors I had encountered. They filled the room, wrapping around us like a shroud, pulling at the edges of reality. "Do you hear them?" I shouted over the cacophony, feeling the power of the depths thrumming through me. "They're here! They've always been here!" The whispers crescendoed, and I could see my family's faces drain of color, their mocking laughter replaced by sheer terror. They trembled, grasping each other, and I realized too late how cruel the truth could be. I had become the vessel of their fears, a reminder of their disbelief. Suddenly, there was a silence, heavy and suffocating. The shadows receded, leaving only the remnants of my shattered bottle and the echoes of the lost. My family stood frozen, their faces pale and haunted. "I'm not insane," I whispered, the weight of my knowledge both a burden and a release. "I survived what you couldn't face, what you refused to believe." As they looked at me, I saw the dawning realization that they had underestimated the depths of the ocean and the depths of my resolve. I had become a part of the very shadows they feared, and now they understood the cost of their disbelief. With that understanding hung in the air like a ghost, I turned away from them, leaving the house behind. I stepped back into the world, the echoes of the drowned following me like a dark crown. I had faced the horrors of the depths. And in that terrifying truth, I had found my purpose. And as I walked away, I realized that sometimes the greatest horror isn't the darkness below, but the darkness within the hearts of those who refuse to believe.